What is up, people? Thank you for being here. Tell me how my audio is. Tell me if you can hear me. What's up, Vicky? In the comments, can you hear me? Vicky, where are you representing from today? Not Scotland. Go. I can hear you. Good, good. Hey, Judy. Hey, Linda. Hey, Amy. What's up? Thank you for being here. I have Athens. Okay. Represent Georgia or Greece? Which one? Either one, good. Look, we have about 19 people in the. Oh, now we have 20 in the room streaming through Facebook, YouTube, and then obviously we have our webinar people representing right now. If you are in the webinar, so obviously we're streaming through our various platforms, but if you are in the webinar, you will be eligible for the book giveaway. At the end of this, we're going to give a giveaway. You'll have the option of either getting a copy sent directly to you from Amazon if you win, or I can actually send you an autographed copy if you're willing to wait, a week, 2 weeks or so, or something like that. So we're going to do that at the end. How the book giveaway is going to work is everyone who registered for the webinar, I have your names on a wheel of names on my other screen. So we're going to hit the wheel at the end, and I'll do it on the screen so you can see. And whoever it lands on, that's who's going to be our winner. And we're going to give away 10 of them. 10. That's a decent amount of books. So I'm going to give away 10. Some other ways you can get your name on this wheel. And you can get your name on this wheel more than once if you want to increase your chances, is just ask a question. If you ask a good question that drives some conversation about or the book or what we're doing here today, I'll go ahead and add you to that wheel. So first and foremost, I just want to thank everybody for being here with me. I did this on short notice. I think I just sent out one email campaign, maybe two, like 3 or 4 days ago. And right away, we got about 40 people that signed up to just participate and learn about this new project that I worked on. And I put a lot of heart in and a lot of effort in. So let's talk about it. First and foremost, yes, here is the book. It's Communicating with Chaos. And if you look on your screen, there's a QR code. If you scan that bad boy, it'll take you right to Amazon. The book is now officially live. Something else cool I did is I converted the book to an ebook. So if you have a subscription to Amazon ebooks, their Kindle books, it'll be free for you for 30 days. So if you have a Kindle e-reader, one of the Kindle ebooks, for 30 days starting today, it's going to be free for you if that's the way you like to consume your reading. Maybe one day I'll do the audiobook version as well, but asking me to stick to a script when I'm talking is not the easiest thing in the world. So we're going to table that. So first and foremost, why did I write this book? So you probably know, if you've been working with me for a little bit, I have this approach that is called C.A.P.E Conversations that was inspired by my little girl. And through that, I wrote my first book, which was C.A.P.E Conversations, How Superheroes Communicate with Children. And it's all about my experience with motivational interviewing, working with at-risk youth, and then eventually becoming a father. Then after our adoption journey was finished, I wanted to write something that was essentially like a workbook, a handbook for anyone that might be considering adoption, either through foster care or through the private route. And that is C.A.P.E Conversations, a roadmap to communicating with the foster care system. And then this brings me to my third one, which, yes, is a fiction book. It is entirely a fiction story that was inspired by a lot of different elements. But first, before I get into that, I will say that, and this is a message for obviously anyone here who's watching this later, whatever you have uh, a passion for, whatever gets you excited, the thing that really lights your fire, make time for that thing. No matter how busy you get in life, always make time for the things that bring you joy. And for me, I've always enjoyed creative writing. My parents put me in creative writing camp when I was younger. I wasn't a great student by any means, not at all, but I always enjoyed writing. In my free time at home, I would write stories. It was something that just being creative just made me happy. So the ability to focus on a pure fiction book where I could dive into my passion of creative writing, I had to make time for it. It was something that gave me just a little bit more happiness, when life gets real busy or chaotic, to do the things that you enjoy. So if you have a passion like that and you have something that brings you excitement, uh, I know there's a lot going on these days, and I know you have a lot on your plate, but make time for the things that make you smile, especially the elements of that in your work that can really give you that energy to keep going. So that was one of the main reasons I did the fiction book as well. The second part is, all right, how did I land on this story? Well, I was really trying to figure out, how should I tell the story of adoption? What does that look like by being someone who adopted their kids through the system? And I really couldn't at this stage wrap my brain around telling the story in a way that it wouldn't involve a lot of different people. And I didn't want to, at this stage, tell a story that involves people who might not want that story to be told. So I wanted to respect those boundaries and those lines. So I said, okay, then how can I tell the adoption experience? And if I'm not going to do that, and I talked to a lot of people in the system. I work with a lot of people who work with adoptions. And then I follow a lot of adoption groups and read some books of people who went through the process. And there was this underlining experience that, yes, the most important thing is the children. The most important thing is the children in the system, without a doubt. But then what sometimes gets brushed aside are the people, the adults, the parents in the system, what they're experiencing from an emotional standpoint. What is it like for you or me being in the system and having to navigate the chaos that a lot of it can be? And there were these underlining tones, and whoever I talked to, regardless of what state it was in, that is a really hard experience, and it really depends on what's happening with your case. So what I did is draw from all those experiences, a couple specific ones that were in California, and said, okay, how can we tell the emotional experience of what it's like from an adoptive family trying to start their family through adoption, and then the fact that I really love creativity, and I love like the psychology and the supernatural elements of a lot of books that I read. I said, all right, how can we make it fun, different, and unique as well? So without giving too much away, because the ending is really important, and I want you to, obviously read it yourself. I will say the main character, what he's struggling with is, how do you balance the trauma associated with going through something really chaotic, while at the same time finding a way to push through so the outcome is one that you so badly want. And then when you get caught up in this space where you just so badly want to get to the end of the road and want things to go in the direction that you need them to go, and it's just so strongly from an emotional level, at what point does it become really hard to find out what's real and what's not? When do you start just telling yourself this story that just keeps you safe? And what the main character is really going through is, what is true? What is he making up? What the characters that he's interacting with, is the way he sees them accurate? Or is it much worse? Or is it not even close to how he's viewing things? And then really in the midst of it, it's about a father who will do anything he can to protect his daughter, and taking on the responsibility, putting it on his shoulders to make sure that his daughter stays with him. And it was a really powerful story to write for me. Obviously, being a father myself, going through the adoption process, it really makes you reconcile with, okay, sometimes when you're in chaos, you don't really see and acknowledge the impact it could be having on you and your psychology, because you're just trying to get through it. And then after that's done, what happens? What happens next? So that, I say all that to say that's my best way to describe the book without giving too much away. But that's where I landed. Is I wanted people who have gone through chaos in their life to really reflect and look within and say, okay, how much of this stayed with me, the good, the bad, and what am I doing with the parts of it that maybe were traumatic? What am I doing with the parts of it that maybe didn't necessarily create the goodness in me that I want there to be? Where have I left with when the chaos is gone? The feelings and the after effects of it are not. What am I doing with those? And then looking back, where am I now? How have those moments changed me? And that's really something what the main character has to grapple with, not only during the story, but at the very ending as well. So let me in the comments, what questions do you have for me before we get to the book drawing itself? What questions do you have about maybe the plot, the story, the reasons behind this particular book? And like I said, anyone who asked their question, I'm going to go ahead and add you to the wheel of names, increase the likelihood that you are going to get a book drawing when we do our book drawing here in about 10 minutes or so. So go ahead and get in the comments. Give me your initial question. Let's get you on this wheel of names. And as I mentioned before, it is now live on Amazon, and it is live on the Kindle e-reader. And if you have a Kindle e-reader account, then you will have access to it for 30 days, which is pretty cool, I think. Christine, thank you, Christine. Let me go ahead and add Christine to the wheel of names. Christine, got you. Christine says, how long did it take you to write this book? Yes. So in comparison to my first two books, I rewrote and edited this one I think at least 15 to 20 times. So this one took a while. I'm not sure when I officially started, but I rewrote this so many different times that I actually had to take a step back at one point to look at it from a different lens. So if you've ever written a book or you're in the process of writing a book, a really good way to navigate that is after you write it maybe once or twice and you do your edits, print out or order from Amazon, if you write it through Amazon, an author copy, and they'll send you an author copy so you can actually get it in your hands, then edit it that way, and then give it to other people. I had friends and family read it, write it up so they could give edits. And then finally, to take it to that next level, I sent it to an editor to do another thorough review of the book itself. So it took a long time. It took a lot of rewrites. I read my own book multiple times. It kept changing things. So yeah, this one definitely took a lot longer than some of the other books, because the other books were more like training and tips and tools. This one, I had to make sure that the story connected in a way that was really meaningful and meant something. So I appreciate that, Christine. Judy, let me get your name on here as well. Did you have a friend read your book? Yes, I had, let me see, 1, two, three. I had four people read the book before publishing and then provide their editing. And this is another thing. If you're working on something creative, another hard part when you're designing something creative is because it's so real to you, you might kind of get a feeling that you don't want people to like mark it up or give their feedback too early because you poured so much of yourself into it emotionally, but you have to let people it and absorb it who do not have an emotional investment in it because they're just going to be able to see it from a different lens. So yeah, I had different people read the book. The hardest one is I actually sent it to an editor and I sent it to an attorney, one of my attorneys for my company, and had them review it as well. And then they probably gave it some of the harshest criticisms, which initially seeing it might have been kind of hard, but it added so much value, made the book so much better. So yeah, I definitely had a couple. And then after it was published, I sent some final ones to a couple friends, and the feedback has been real great so far. Linda says this one must have been more personal. Yeah, yeah. This was each book definitely, they were written at times that made them personal. Like each one was very intentional that I've written, but this one, in order, I was able to step into the shoes of the main character, this father who was fighting for his daughter. And there was one point in the book where the worst scenario that he can imagine was unfolding without giving too much away in the book. And when I was reading that, it was a weird experience because I was like feeling what the main character was feeling in that moment, and I got a little emotional. Just the idea, the concept of someone you care so much about might not be in your life anymore. So to put that in a fiction form and then add all these other elements, it was definitely it was definitely a powerful read for me. Even though it is fiction, I felt myself connecting with so many different adoptive parents, foster parents. I see in all these groups and these Facebook groups what they go through, and they're pouring their heart out. So I built a character that I thought reflected some of the hardest parts of all the different stories I heard. So even though it wasn't like a personal as in, okay, this is me telling my story, it was personal as in telling a story for anyone who's gone through something really chaotic and had that feeling that the worst situation is going to unfold. And then what does that mean to the person going through it? And how do they process that? So it was very personal in that way as well. And then Judy says, I guess it was hard to wait on feedback with all the heart you put in it. Yeah, you get this, and to your point, Judy, I think I did this on my very first book. I was such in a rush and excited about publishing that book that I didn't get as much feedback that I would have otherwise wanted. And then when the book was published, I had people reach out to say, hey, it really would have been better if you did this, this, and this. And then that forced me, I had to go rewrite the book that was already published and add a bunch of stuff. And I was trying to catch back up. So my process wasn't as clean. So now at this stage, it is very much about, hey, let's get as much feedback as we can. Even if not all the feedback you're going to like, that's still going to help the creative process as well. So yeah, thank you for that, Judy. But yeah, I put a lot of effort, a lot of heart into this. Amy says, what was the hardest? And actually, Amy, let me put you on the wheel too. What was the hardest part of writing this book? Putting it in order that makes sense, or picking the narrative perspective, adding more details or removing details. Yeah, Amy. So all of that, all of that. First, putting it in an order that makes sense was very complicated for this type of book, as you see when you'll read it. because what is real and what is not, it really starts to blend as the main character becomes more kind of lost in his own reality. So I gave the book to someone who was familiar with editing, and they really were able to point some things out to me, say, hey, this doesn't connect with this on a narrative level. So we need to really connect all the dots and make sure it makes a lot of sense for the reader. So putting in order that made sense was a tough part. It helped that I was able to structure it around like a court case, which you'll see when you read the book. The narrative perspective. So this is another interesting part. You'll see, Amy. I'm a big Marvel fan. So a little spoiler alert for the book. And one of the characters that always cracks me up in Marvel is Deadpool, because Deadpool talks directly to the reader. He kind of breaks that fourth wall. And in this book, you'll find that happening quite a bit. But what you don't know is, well, who is Chris talking to? It sounds like that he might be talking to you, the reader. He might be talking to another character. He could be talking to himself. So it's kind of distinguished. Okay, whose perspective is happening right now, and then who is Chris talking to, which is the main character, and then adding more details or removing details. Yeah, I think I had to remove some stuff towards the end because I have all these ideas, and I was like, oh, let's add this to it. Let's add this to it. And then it got to a point where it's taking away from the actual story a little bit. So I did have to remove some stuff at the end. But you know, my thing is, hey, just throw everything at the wall, see what sticks, and then be willing to pivot and adapt later. So that's kind of was the creative process. Is I just kept, all right, let's try this, let's test this. What if this happened? You know, and then I've never published a fiction book before, so I was really excited about the idea of I can just create whatever scenario I want to create, whatever twist I want this story to go, I can do. So in the beginning, there was a lot going on, but then to your initial point, then I had to connect the dots later, which meant, all right, we need to maybe remove some things, provide more clarity on some other things. But that whole process was fun. It was therapeutic, to be honest with you. And then it just brought joy to me. Ironically, even though it's a book about chaos, and some parts of it are very hard if you've been through something difficult. But I think it's wrapped up in a way that hopefully, like with anything I do and anything I do with my company, gets you thinking, and perhaps maybe even encourages you a bit as well. So I appreciate those questions. Let's go ahead and get to this drawing. Are y'all ready to draw some books? So I can get y'all out of here at 12:30. We ready to do a book drawing here. We're going to do 10 books. And like I said, and let me put my email. Most of you already have my email, but let me go ahead and put it. If you are a winner, go ahead and email me, and then let me know if you prefer to have your book mailed directly today from Amazon, or if you prefer me to sign a copy and then mail it to you, I'll mail it to you. The second option is going to take longer, obviously, but you know, it's up to you if you want it signed or not. I've also ordered a lot of author copies, so I'm going to bring these to some of the conferences that I'm going to. I am the keynote. I'm the keynote at one of the largest foster care conferences in the state in June, and I'm going to bring some books there. I'm also at the Help Me Grow conference in about 3 weeks. 3 weeks, and I'll bring some books there as well. So if you end up at one of these conferences or trainings that I'm at, there's a pretty good chance I'll have some books on hand as well. All right, let's go ahead and do this drawing. All right, first and foremost, let's see if you can see my screen. All right. Do you oh, hold on. Let me see here. There we go. All right. Let me get rid of Let's make this a little right there so we can still see our chat. All right, let's do the drawing. I have your last names of those that registered that are in our webinar with us, and then I added the additional names if you added a question or comment as well. And let's go ahead and give our first book away. Can everyone see the wheel on the screen? Is it showing on your end as well? Awesome. Thank you, Linda. All right, let's go. Toner. Now you do have to be here to win. But is the person last name Toner in the building with us right now? Is Toner in the building? We'll give you a moment or so to say yay or nay. If not, we're just gonna keep it moving and go to the next. Is Toner in the building? Okay, then let's move to the next. Christine, last name, last name Christine, not first name, last name Christine. Are you in the building, the virtual building, with us right now? Oh, the people in the room are getting lucky that we have people not here to claim the prize, so let's keep it moving. Birch, last name Birch. Are you in the building? Last name Birch. All right, let's keep going. Everybody's odds that are in here right now are getting increasingly higher. Frazier. Is Frazier in the building? Frazier. All right. Yes, Christine. It was we're doing last names because a lot of people had the same first name. What about Parker? Parker, are you with us right now? Parker. All right, let's keep it moving. Miss Williams, are you in the room with us? Miss Williams. Do I have a Linda Williams in the room? Going once, going twice. Okay. Oh, wait. Linda, you are here, Linda. Linda, congratulations. You have won a book of Communicating with Chaos. Email me and you can either get the autograph version or the Amazon version. Linda. Yes, Linda, I think there's a little bit of a delay. I apologize. I see you. You won. Congratulations. Yes, Linda. Thank you. Awesome. What about Dover? Is Dover in the building? Let me write down Williams here. Yeah, write down Williams. All right, Williams is going to email me one. Dover is here or Jones? Amy, are you saying Linda or Dover? Curtis, you added my name, Christine, for asking a question. Yeah, it was last name, Christine. But I got a feeling you're gonna be good to go the way we're rolling right now. What about Reeves? We got Reeves. All right, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. And Rubio. Here's what we're gonna do for the sake of, because I think I had this on until 12:30. It's already 12:31. So we're gonna go. Williams gets a book. Christine Treviano gets a book. Amy Jones gets a book. Lisa Eckley gets a book. If you're still here and I said your name, go ahead in the chat box. Let me know. Let me know you're here. Judy Reynolds gets a book. Vicky Scotland gets a book. And then that would bring us to Miss Herndon. Are you here with us? Miss Herndon? You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Miss Herndon, what about is it Martina? Martina? I apologize for saying your last name that way. I'm probably way off. Martina? Are you here? Yes. Martina. Thank you, Martina. Martina, you got a book as well. So did Miss Herndon. Miss Williams, then Christine, Amy, Lisa, Judy, Vicky, Miss Herndon, and Miss Martina. You have all won a book for engaging in the chat with me, being with me on lunch. Email Curtis at speakformc.com. Say, hey, I won. Give me your name, and then let me know if you want an autograph one, which I'll have to send to you directly, or if you just want me to send it to you via Amazon. When you email me, give me I'll need the address of where the book is going regardless. So when you tell me that, make sure you put your email in there and we will get it in your hands. My plan after this is to do another live discussing the book after some people have read it, their theories, what they think happened, what they think didn't happen. So let's end here. Judy Reynolds says repeat your email. I'll go ahead and put it in the chat again. Judy, it's Curtis at speakformc.com. So as I said earlier, if you have something that brings you joy or brings you excitement, even if it feels like you don't have enough time for it, make time for it. Even if you just put 5-10 minutes a week towards it, when you do that, it'll bring you that joy that gives you that fire and that energy to do other things. So that's what writing this fiction book was for me. And then anyone who has been through chaos, and especially if it's chaos that has to do with your family or in the adoption system, this book was for you. And I hope it does, even though it might be difficult at times to read, I hope in the end it gives you some spark that will help you figure out, all right, what is the next stage of my journey? What do I do with who I am after this chaos? So I appreciate y'all for being here. It genuinely means a lot. And to put this much heart and effort into something and then have you with me to participate and be a part of it. I genuinely thank you for that, especially on short notice. So with that being said, if you are a winner, email me, send me the address, tell me how you want it. And I look forward to connecting with all of you very soon at conferences I'll be at, workshops. I'll be bringing some books as well. With that being said, bye-bye, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. And hopefully there is not too much chaos. But if there is, you'll know how to communicate with it. Thank you, everybody. It's always good to connect with you as well. And thank you for calling me a jewel. I don't get that one a lot, and I'll take it. So thank you very much. All right, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.